In the spring of 1982, my colleagues and I entered into a controversy that would be with us the rest of our lives. I had been assigned the task in completing the master's degree in archaeology, the task of excavating one original dinosaur footprint along the banks of the Paluxy River. That I did. But amazingly, as the team and I removed overburden of limestone, after excavating 23 original dinosaur footprints, among the last 3 of those dinosaur footprints, we found a trail of 16.5-inch human footprints. Little did I know that this issue was and would continue to be central to the conflict between the 2 greatest forces of intellectual thought in history, involving the origin of mankind and the origin of living systems, the origin of the universe, and that is supernatural creation as opposed to naturalistic humanism. For if man and dinosaur lived contemporaneously, this controversy would be settled as to which was true, naturalistic evolution or supernatural creation. What is the evidence? Well, some of the evidence had been contaminated, compounding the controversy even further. And that's the fact that in the mid-1930s, after original dinosaur and human footprints had been discovered within and along the banks of the Paluxy River from 1918 following, in the mid-1930s, a local enterprising individual, George Adams, carved a handful of dinosaur footprints and 2 or 3 human footprints. This is a certified replication of one of the human footprints that George Adams carved. You can see he did quite a good job. And he sold these footprints for $200 during the Depression. So immediately the evolutionary community caught wind of this and announced that the human footprints had been carved. Well, is there further evidence that perhaps, even though one individual did carve some footprints, he carved them because there were genuine footprints to support them? Well, worldwide, there has been information coming forth for a number of decades indicating that man perhaps did see living dinosaurs. For instance, the Incas, Nazcas, and Tiahuanacas of the Peruvian plains actually depicted them in burial stones. Some of the Egyptians depicted man and dinosaur in many of their breastplates. In Cambodia, we have a stegosaurus depicted. So we have a general implication of man and dinosaur living contemporaneously. But those were not original excavations. Have we been able to provide scientific, verified, authentic information that man and dinosaur did live contemporaneously? At the Creation Evidence Museum, my colleagues and I are not satisfied with simple legendary reports in cultural settings. Original excavations are mandatory if we're going to settle the controversy, did man and dinosaur live contemporaneously? Well, in the summer of 1987, my colleagues and I excavated this tremendous Acrocanthosaurus footprint. That's the hallux spur area. These are the 3 digits in an entire trail of Acrocanthosaurus dinosaur tracks. And running through the trail was a series of footprints, more shallow at the top, except where this individual stepped within the dinosaur footprint. Here we have the great toe, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th little toe, the ball of the foot, the medial section of the longitudinal arch, the heel and cuboid section, and the lateral bulge of the longitudinal arch. Only mankind makes a print like this. And then in the summer of 1989, Dr. Don Patton and I discovered and excavated this trail, re-exposed the Taylor Trail, but the new discovery had to do with -3B that had not been excavated previously. Stepping within this dinosaur track was a human being. Here's the primary, here's the secondary, push, the pullback, and the tertiary or third placement of an impression with the great toe, second, third, fourth, little toe, the ball of the foot, the arch, the medial section of the longitudinal arch, the heel, calcaneus and cuboid area, and the bulge, the lateral bulge on the outside of the tract. So we are defining the issue with original excavations, more to follow, and more scientific information that will verify that man and dinosaur did live contemporaneously. The Anasazi warriors disappeared from the Southwest in 1299 in a major drought. Those warriors had depicted dinosaurs like this incredible Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus type dinosaur and Apatosaurus, along with an Anasazi warrior. But that's not original uncovered excavation, even though the desert varnish was impaled along with that wonderful scene in the southwest of Utah. If this is true, and our ongoing research indicates that there's a lot of evidence supporting this, what are the implications? Dr. Stephen Schaefersman and Dr. Milne of Evergreen State College, Olympia, Washington, Professor Schaefersman, Department of Geology, Rice University, announced in writing the implications of such an incredible discovery that man and dinosaur lived contemporaneously. They wrote in this prestigious journal, such an occurrence, if verified, would seriously disrupt conventional interpretations of biological and geological history and would support the doctrines of creationism and catastrophism. Professor A.E. Wilder Smith carried the implications even further when he stated, one authentic man tract found in the same stratum as one authentic Brontosaurus tract throws out 100 years of evolutionary teachings. It is sufficient to bring the whole Darwinistic theory down and revolutionize all of biology today. But let's make a further statement. Additional scholars, almost laughingly, assuming that we would never verify that man and dinosaur did live contemporaneously, have stated the following. Richard Dawkins, the world's leading atheist of this generation, stated, alleged human bones in the Carboniferous coal deposits, if authenticated as human, these bones would blow the theory of evolution out of the water. He stated that in Free Inquiry. Well, that world's dated in the 7 biblical days of the Genesis myth, evolution would be vanquished. Is this a myth? We at the Creation Evidence Museum have additional scientifically verified data and evidence showing that man and dinosaur did live contemporaneously. And I would agree with that statement of these antagonists. This essentially blows evolution out of the waters.